everyone. We are the Health Promotion Disease Prevention team here at Gerald Allegnace Indian Health Center, and we're excited to be sharing our harvest of the week with you today, which is leeks. Leeks are currently in season here in Wisconsin through about mid-January. And what's great about purchasing foods in season is that they're at their prime in terms of flavor as well as in terms of nutrition, and they tend to be more affordable. It's also a great way to support our local farms and farmers. Today we'll be working with the common leek, which is native to North Africa, and you can pretty much find this year-round at the supermarket. Compared to wild leeks, which are in season usually around early springtime, common leeks are a lot more mild and delicate in flavor compared to a wild leek, which is a lot more pungent in flavor.
And so leeks are part of the allium family, meaning that they're related to onions, garlic, and scallions. And like Alex said, they have a nice mild sweet flavor to them. So if you're not a big fan of onions, if they're a little too pungent for you, try replacing your onions with leeks and you might get, something a little more good for you. When purchasing a leek, you want to make sure that the stalk is nice and firm, that there's no bruises or discolorations, and you want to make sure that they are a good diameter. So usually you want to buy a leek that's between about 1 and 2 inches in diameter. If it starts to get a little more than that, you'll start to get woody leeks and it's very hard to work with. You also want to pay attention to the green parts, these leaves. You want to make sure that they're a nice vibrant green and that there's no discolorations on these as well. One tool you can use to help in purchasing produce is the Seasonal Food Guide app. And so it's a nice app that'll tell you what produce is in season where you live. And of course, buying produce in season, it'll tend to be a lot cheaper. The produce will be in a much better condition, and it's good to support the local farmers in the area. When storing leeks, if you store it, well, first you do have to put this in the refrigerator. It's not like an onion or garlic where you can leave them out. You do have to store it in the fridge. And an uncut leek like this might last about 2 weeks in the fridge wrapped in a paper towel to kind of get rid of that excess moisture. If you do cut into it and start chopping it up into matchsticks or into circles or half circles, it'll last for about 2 to 3 days.
So today we're going to demonstrate how to prepare our leek. So we always want to make sure to wash it very thoroughly. Leeks are grown in sand, so a lot of the dirt and the sand gets trapped in the layers of the leek. So we want to be very cautious about thoroughly washing it, and we're going to show you a technique of how to do that. So when working with our leek, we're going to start by cutting off the root end. And we're working with a nice cutting board and a chef's knife here today. And then the recipe that you're working with that calls for leeks, it's going to be primarily the stem that we're working with, so the white and light greenish area. And then once we get to the top leaf part where it starts to get dark green, we're going to chop off the leaves. Now, a fun fact about the leaves is that you can save them and use them in a vegetable stock, so no part of the leek goes to waste here. Next, we're going to peel off the outermost layer where we're likely going to find a lot of that dirt and sand, and you can always rinse it in your sink under running cool water to get a lot of that off here. Next, we're going to demonstrate a couple different ways to cut the leek. So we're going to start by cutting it into about 4-inch size sections. Nutrient-wise, leeks are extremely high in vitamin A and vitamin K. Next, we're going to cut it here in half lengthwise, and Nico's going to show us how to cut it in matchsticks. Nutrition-wise, leeks also are high in antioxidants that are linked to improved cardiovascular health, and they also are full of a special pigment that helps with our eye health and prevents against cellular damage. So as you can see, we're slicing them lengthwise into nice matchstick size pieces. And then we're going to go ahead and put them here into a bowl of water. So what's going to happen is the leek's going to flow up to the top, and all of those remnants like the sand and dirt are going to sink to the bottom. So we're left with a clean leek. And next we're going to cut it into half moon size slices, so a little thinner. This would be a great way to incorporate leeks as a garnish on top of, let's say, a baked fish or a baked chicken, or even thrown into an omelet or scrambled eggs. With leeks, they're very versatile with cooking them, so you can saute them, you can steam them, you can roast them, you can even eat them raw on top of a salad because they have that such mild and delicate flavor to them. So once all of the sand has sunk to the bottom of our bowl here, we can go ahead and pull out the leeks. This would be a great task to have your kids help out with. And then you can transfer them onto a paper towel or a cloth towel. And go ahead and just pat out any of that excess moisture here. And there you have it. Your leeks are ready to saute, or however you choose to cook them. Throw them in a soup or a stew. We have a recipe we're featuring today for a zucchini, leek, and walnut salad. So we would love for you to try that out. If you have a favorite recipe you like to prepare using leeks, please comment and share with us. Or if you try a new recipe using leeks, we'd love to hear how that goes for you. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and we'll see you again next week.